Well, okay, I have narrowed my choices of new pickup trucks down to 3. So I am headed down to a dealership now to see if I can strike a deal on choice number 1. And if that will not happen, I'll go to dealer number 2 to see if I can make something happen on choice number 2. And actually, dealer number 2 has choice number 2 and 3. But this has been an awful search only because of my parameters on what I would like with this truck. Number 1, it's got to be a mega cab. I want a diesel, the Cummins diesel. I have narrowed it down to Ram trucks. That's what I'm going to buy, is a Ram. But the big holdup has been the auxiliary switches. Ram mounts 5 auxiliary switches on the dash down below the radio. And I found that to be very helpful on my last Ram truck when we were connecting snowplow, salt spreader, the extra lights on there. You don't have to worry about running wires through the firewall and putting additional switches in your truck. They have a nice junction box in the engine compartment. You just put your wires in there, use the switches already mounted inside of the truck. So auxiliary switches are a must for me. And that seems to be the big hang-up. There's not a lot of mega cab trucks with auxiliary switches in them that fit my other parameters, and the other one being no black truck and no gray truck. I would prefer a white truck. I can compromise on some other colors of blue or maybe a deep red, but no black and no gray. And there's a lot of black and gray trucks out there, and that's just not my color. So I found this my first choice. The color is maroon. It's a deep red, or maroon is what it is, I guess. And it's spec'd out the way I want it. So I'll see if I can make a deal on this one. If not, as I said, I'll head up to dealer number 2 and see what we can accomplish. So I will try to keep you in the loop on this one. Stay tuned. Well, I did it. I got a new truck. It is a brand new 2018 Ram 2500 with the 6.7 liter Cummins diesel in it. It is a mega cab. That was top of my list. The truck I traded in on this was a mega cab. I really liked the mega cab, so I wanted another one. So I did it. The process wasn't too bad. I was in and out in just a little over 3 hours. I had gone down last week to look at this truck, had a price in mind, threw the price out there, and no, that deal didn't work last week. So I had to come home and reassess and look around, see what else was out there, and it's like anything else. Things have gone up, and so I had to put a little more money than I really wanted to in the purchase. So I came back this week, renegotiated the deal. I decided I needed to put a little more money into it. I got a little more money out of the dealer, so we finally came to an agreement after about 45 minutes of going back and forth. But it's always the process afterwards, the financing, the upsells with the undercoating, the overcoating, the all-around coating, the extra warranties and all of that. So finance, all of that takes longer than it should, in my opinion, but that's just the nature of the beast. I was very pleased with my salesperson, Alex Holmes, Stafford Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram out of Fredericksburg. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, Alex at Stafford in Fredericksburg, give him a call. I felt he was straightforward with me and honest, and I tried to be the same way with, well, I didn't try, I was the same way with him. I don't go into these deals trying to waste anybody's time. I'm very upfront, I believe. But anyhow, that's what we've got. It is the dark red, the maroon, I forget what the proper name of the color is. So it's not a white truck, but hey, I do like the color of it. We've got bucket seats in here. It's not the top of the line. This is just the big horn model. So far, I've driven it, well, I'm on my way back from the dealership to home. It's about an hour and 45-minute drive, so I've put, what, about 40 miles on it already. I'm pleased with it. It sits nicely, it handles nicely, quiet inside, so we'll see how this goes. But no, I think it's going to be a good truck for me. I'm hoping anyway. Hey, you know, there's something to be said about ordering a vehicle exactly to your specs, which I've never done. And I do remember my mother and father, back in the 80s, they ordered a car one time exactly the way they wanted it. It took about 6 weeks for them to get it, but that's the only time I've ever really heard of anybody ordering a vehicle to spec. So I think I mentioned this in a prior video. I was going to do that with this truck because I was having a difficult time finding exactly what I wanted. But the problem was that Ram is in the middle of models right now. So you could no longer order a 2018 truck, and the 2019s are just now being built and not a lot of information out there. And I tried with one dealer to spec the truck the way I wanted it, but we were coming up with some issues. I had some questions because of some changes that were being made, and those questions couldn't be answered yet. So it was either wait for that or go ahead and get one as close as I could find to the way I wanted it. So this ended up being the vehicle. But like anything, there's still things you have to do to make it your own or to make it work for you. The previous truck I bought, you know, I had to add running boards to it. This truck has the running boards. I had to do the spray-in bed liner. This truck already has the spray-in bed liner. I had to add a gooseneck hitch. The assembly under there, this truck is already set up for a gooseneck hitch. I just got to find the right ball, and that's the problem right now, is finding the right ball to work with this system. I think I have found one. I'll go look tomorrow. So I don't have to do as much to this truck as my previous truck to get it the way I want it. But one of the things I'm going to do today is mud guards, splash guards. So I've got a couple of sets of splash guards I'm going to put on. So I'll add those. As you can see, it's still raining around here. We've still got plenty of mud. This should be standard equipment on a truck, in my opinion. They should put mud flaps, splash guards, whatever you want to call them. It should be standard equipment. I did see it as an option on one or two trucks where they came with the splash guards, but it's not many out there. And I think the trucks I saw it on were just on the rear wheels, not on the front ones as well. But maybe the majority of people buying trucks these days are not taking it off-road or taking it on gravel roads. My guess is the majority of people buying trucks, SUVs, are keeping them on pavement. So that's what I'm doing today. The only other thing that I know of that I have to do to this truck is I have to get some either WeatherTech or some kind of rubber floor mats to go in the truck. Right now it's all carpet floor mats. Again, that was an option that I saw on a couple of trucks to get the rubber floor mats. Again, most people don't need rubber because they're not getting, most people don't need rubbers, because they're never stepping into dirt. This truck is going to be used on the farm. It's not going to stay pretty and clean. So I am going to get some rubber floor mats. I'm not sure if I want to get the WeatherTechs yet. I like the WeatherTechs. They worked well for me, but they may be a little bit overpriced. There may be some cheaper options out there. So I'm checking on that, but otherwise it's set up the way I want it. So let's get these splash guards on and go from there. Okay, that is the first one on. 3 more to go. Of course, the front ones are going to be easier to install because I can turn the wheels all the way around in order to screw the close ones in. The rear ones will not be quite as easy, but it's all plastic, so it should be good. Okay, I put 3 screws on the other side, but I believe 2 is all I need. Originally, there's a little piece that sticks out on the bottom, so on the other side I put the first screw down on that piece, and what it did was twist this flap around a little bit, and the tire wasn't going to hit it, but I just didn't like the way it was flipped around, so that's when I put this screw, the third one, in up on this part, and that pulls that flap back around. So I don't believe I'm going to put one there. I think the two screws are going to hold it. Now, if I was doing a lot of off-roading and hill climbing and four-wheeling, yeah, I'd probably put a couple more in it, but that's not me. I'm just on gravel roads and muddy fields, so I think that will hold it. If it doesn't, I'll come back and put some more screws on it. These are only $17, $18 flaps. They're cheap flaps. I have bought the WeatherTech flaps in the past for one of my pickup trucks, and yeah, they are molded to fit around this fender flare. They fit up there a little nicely, but good Lord, you pay, I think I paid $50 for one set, for one pair. I'm not into that. If I was taking this truck to shows and trying to win trophies, okay, maybe I'd do the WeatherTech, but no. I'm after keeping the mud from coming up off the tires and going up the side of the truck. So the $18 mud flaps should do that just as well as the $50 mud flaps. Okay, let's go to the back. Okay, there we go, and as you can see, we've got that gap covered back there, so it will not run between there and hit the bumper. Yeah, I think we're still going to get a little bit, maybe on the tail end of the bumper, but that's okay. It's better than all of that there. All right, one more to go. Okay, so of course, by the time you all see this video, and respond to it, I will have already figured out something. So with the hitch system in this truck, the way it comes from the factory, it is gooseneck or fifth wheel ready. And so from what I've been reading, it has a, it's called a puck system. So I'm trying to find the gooseneck ball to go into the system and fit. You know, on any other gooseneck hitch that I've installed, I've got a lever on the side of the frame that I pull in and out to lock that ball into place. So with the factory installed option on these Ram trucks, that is not the case. It's just the frame is already installed inside, the hole is cut out, and then I guess there's a groove where the ball sits down inside, and then I guess something in the ball catches in the groove of the frame and holds that ball into place, and that's what I'm trying to figure out. So I went to my local Ram dealer this morning, assuming they have a kit for that. So yes, they do make a kit with the ball and then the chain, the tie downs for the chain, or the things that go into place to hold your safety chains. Well, they're not available, and they had a note in their system, something about production has been stopped. It may be June before they are being produced again. So the parts guy said that tells him they've had an issue with those things, and so they're trying to redesign it, but he really wasn't sure. But for them not to be available until June, he's guessing there's an issue. So I got online and I looked, and the one that I saw, I guess it works like a ratchet. So when you put this socket on here, there's a ball in here that locks this socket into place. And to release that ball, you press a button on the top. Everybody knows how a socket works, right? Okay, it's locked on there, press the button, it comes off. So it appears that's the way the gooseneck ball works on this hitch. So the first one I looked at, it looks like there's some kind of lever built into the top of the actual ball for the gooseneck trailer that locks the bottom mechanism in place. My concern is that as you're backing that truck up to the trailer and you start hitting that ball with the trailer, that mechanism is going to break or something is going to happen to it, because normally when I back up to a trailer, I have the trailer just sitting down where that ball has to come up and raise the trailer a little bit, and then I know when that trailer falls back down that I'm in the position that I need to be. Now with this truck, it should be a little easier, and maybe I don't have to put the trailer down that far, because I do have a camera mounted on the cargo light of this truck, so I can actually see as I'm backing up. You know, in these extended cab trucks or mega cab trucks, you cannot see in the back of in the bed of the truck as you're trying to hook up a trailer. This one does have a camera on it, so I may be okay. But anybody that's used these systems, I'd like you to comment and tell me what you've seen and how they work. Are those balls, do they hold up, or am I going to have a problem with that mechanism? It just seems like a poor design based on what I'm seeing. Now, my local guy that I go to get any running boards or wheels and tires, my custom car guy, custom truck guy, whatever you want to call him, he's going to order one of these and have it in here tomorrow. I'll go look at it, and I'm not obligated to buy it. But I want to see how it works before I buy it. So he's going to order one for me, and I'm going to get that. I'm just wondering if there are any other designs out there and what people's experience has been with them. And there we've got that one installed. Okay, all 4 of them are on here. I'll wipe the mud off the tail end, and once I go out of the farm lane this afternoon, I'll be able to see if these things do the job. See ya!